So here's a little update on the EMERBU TPER-S. If you remember, I showed you the inside, then I showed you another video where I was messing with the inside, and I went ahead and thought, let's try the 11.1 on it, and it fried that little circuit board. So for a while, this was dead, and basically I had to rewire it completely. And so you see, like I've got some sometimes I use hot glue to hold wires in place when there's extra wires, rather than trying to trim them down and splice them perfectly, just because that ends up being really difficult. So that's what's going on there. Anyway, I completely rewired it. I even had to open this up and replace the actual switch, the trigger switch that's there. I had to go to a different type of primer switch because I couldn't get the one that it came with to work. So, there's an inline capacitor. It's kind of wired up like Gen 8, any type of Gen 8 blaster that has a primer. That's basically what I just followed, that type of wiring diagram. So everything is working now. And of course, it's not super pretty on the inside, but I'm not super worried about that because that's going to be closed up. And there really wouldn't be reason to open it up again, I guess, unless you had to fix something. But so everything should be functioning. I think we're still going to have semi-automatic and automatic. And and the priming works. So it's good to go. Now it's adapted to a JST plug. So basically what I did was I just took this mag, the battery mag, and chopped the top off. So you can go ahead, it's not screwed together yet, plug the battery in, and then just push this in to place to hold it in place. So that's still going to be in the same spot. The other thing I did is, you can see on the front end here, basically I printed an insert piece that even has a metal outer that will reinforce it. So this gets this up to that like 19 millimeter width, which allows you to use those different tracers, the different size tracers that fit like the M4A1. Basically, it comes to this size, right? So you could put it something like this, and then I'm able to make a bunch of different fake suppressors and stuff that could go on there that are that width. That's just because this metal inner, I was going to try to lengthen it, right? Switch that out. The T-piece, it is glued in there so tight, and this is such a unique, weird kind of T-piece. If I were to mess that up, then it definitely would be done. So instead I went this route, and that way there'll be some different types of suppressors that we can put there. Another thing I decided to do was to add a buffer tube. So on this end, there's going to be the ability, like this will be go ahead, and obviously stuff will get painted, but that's going to click in there, and that's going to be a buffer tube. And then that way you can have a little stock on here as well. So those are kind of some of the mods. I'm not sure, as I get it back together, if there's anything else I will add. I'm not sure if there's really any other place to add rails. Possibly along the top front, we could go ahead and add a rail, because otherwise we just have those two side rails. So maybe I will go ahead and add a rail on the top, up front there, so you can put some different optic there. Obviously, I don't want to block the blowback or anything. So maybe I'll go ahead with a rail and then even use like one of those risers that steps up and back, so it leaves that clear, but that way you can have the optic more towards the back where you probably would. So that's kind of the plan. Again, this took way more work than it should to get this wired back, because I was trying to use the original stuff first, and finally I just said, let's just start over and go with a wiring diagram that I know. So there we go, back together. Going to customize it a bit. Not sure when this video will post, but these are currently on sale for only $30 through the end of July, which, you get about 170 FPS, you get a motorized mag. That's a really, really good deal, and this is a really well-built blaster for $30 too, compared to a lot of the really cheap ones that you see in that price range. So if you need a safe-looking one, you like this kind of style, it'd be a good choice, I would say, and a really good choice at $30. Comments, questions, post them below. Of course, like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, participate in those monthly giveaways. Thanks.